Welcome to Game 2 of the series. Antilles is going to have to find a way to survive Game 2 with more than 470 some victory points if he wants faction selection for Game 3 should it occur. Paul is going to be playing as his Soviets in the north against Antilles Oster in the south. Paul has insta-locked Armored Assault, which is pretty much what he does if he doesn't think his opponent is a very serious threat. I've noticed this behavior from Paul. If he doesn't think his opponent is that good, he goes Armored Assault. So that's apparently Paul's judgment of Antilles' skill as Oster. We're going to see Antilles going with some barbed wire here on his cutoff initially. And double squads of Grenadiers being queued up, making their way to the front lines now.
We have a fresh Grenadier squad. We've added to the fatherland.
Jeez, game. What is all this lag? I should have restarted.
Pioneers awaiting orders.
I don't know if I can live with this. This is pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Yes? Pioneers report. The Maschinengewehr team is awaiting orders.
Oh well, we'll just deal with it, I guess. I don't know. This is bearable, right? You guys aren't like Wait, that's better. It's fine. Alright. 2 squads of conscripts making their way right to engage against everything. Taking the control of territory initially. Paul is going to go tier 1. By the way, whenever Paul insta-locks Armored Assault, he also goes tier 1 into double scout car. This is kind of an interesting build. I don't think I've seen anybody else do this. So, this is kind of like a Paul's own kind of little meta that he's developing here that he seems to like. Double scout car. You don't see that very frequently. You either see one scout car or just full molo. Full molo. So yeah, let's see if Paul can find some traction with that strategy. So far though, I haven't seen him use it against anybody, you know, super hardcore. I'm going to give it a shot against Antilles Oster, though, see how it shapes up. Antilles is going to be playing with Elite Armor, Lightning War, and Close Air Support available to him. So,
Grenadiers reporting objective capture.
wire goes down here in the middle, block this approach.
Now we can sweep for enemy mine. Grenadier squad is taking fire! We have a fresh Grenadier squad.
Grenadiers taking control of the left side strategic point right there, and Pio's moving up to grab the munitions here on the left, snipping some wire. Combat Engineers taking shots from range. And the M3 with the flamethrower in it is moving to engage against these Pios right here. The first M3 out. By the way, if you're up against Paul and you see an M3, there's a second one coming, so get ready. Get ready.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
MG42 over here on the left side. Grenadiers will pull that M3 into its arc of fire. And it's going to have to pull back for some light repairs. Over here on the right side, conscripts taking up a position in some green cover on the munitions, grabbing that strategic point as well. And Antilles will snip the wire here in the middle, get those Pios through, get that captured. So Antilles does have a pretty decent amount of map control initially. If these two squads continue to simply defend on the right, he might be able to set up a pretty decent defense here. But it looks like Paul is in motion, going to try and set up a flank on the defensive forces here in the center. Maybe get into a green cover position right here. M3 pokes from the front. Second M3 in production now.
We have a new scout car at our disposal. We are taking losses! Shoot back, comrades!
3 squads of Grenadiers setting up a surround on these conscripts in cover. This squad with full health on the flank will be able to bring them down quite quick, if not focus fired. Paul doesn't think he can win that engagement, so he will be forced to retreat. Meanwhile, over here on the left side, conscripts do manage to get sandbags up, but not before getting suppressed. I mean, struggle to get into that green cover position while suppressed with grenadiers available for this engagement, but Antilles does need to be careful of the M3s, both of which are on their way left, and he has not prepared for them in any way, shape, or form. There's no support over here either. Antilles spreading himself so thin right now, which against double M3 might be the worst thing he could possibly do. There's one Panzerfaust during this engagement trying to get the second one off, and it's abandoned. Oh no, and he just retreated. He needs his machine gun to finish off the vehicle. Oh god, that is the worst thing that could have just happened for Antilles right there. That's 50 munitions, no destruction of the M3. Very close to losing his grenadiers right there, but fortunately they will get away. That was a pretty bad stroke of luck. He unfortunately retreated a little too soon. He just needed to shoot at it with a little something more. Conscripts recrew the vehicle and retreat, and everything will be forced from the left side. Fortunately, because Antilles is spreading himself a little thin, he is at least trading for map control over here on the right side, unopposed. Grenadiers getting the munitions, fuel, and VP under his control. And it looks like conscripts are making their way center. Antilles will not lose total map control, and he does have the victory points actually briefly taking in his favor right now. The M3s are going to circle towards Antilles' flank. And again, if Antilles doesn't concentrate his forces a little harder, he's not going to be able to hold the line against these things. Machine gun will suppress one squad of conscripts. Grenadiers are trying to get to the supporting range of another squad so that he can go for a double Panzerfaust if necessary, trying to get into close range on the other Grenadier squad now. He does have the munitions for double Faust again. Hopefully this time it'll work. First one going off will connect. Flamethrower squad gets out of the vehicle. Second Grenadier squad needs to try and get in range to finish the job. Taking a lot of flamethrower damage right here. That squad will get away. 100 munitions now expended by Antilles on Panzerfausts to destroy one M3, which is probably not really worth it, and that's really slowing down all of his other upgrades. As you can see, he's got a minesweeper, but no LMGs and no teller mines. No teller mines. Battle Phase 2 is in production now. Maybe a little early. I feel like Antilles is rushing a tank. That's insane. I don't really think that's gonna work. I don't know, maybe. We can get an Ostwind out, put pressure on Paul. His map control is honestly pretty good considering how engagements have been going. Pretty good. The fact that he's constantly spreading out and taking territory means Paul wins pretty much every engagement, but it also means that he has to run around capturing squads trying to catch up with Antilles being just all over the map, who did go with a pretty hard Tier 1 opening of 4 Grenadiers and 2 machine guns, and fortunately, despite being up against double flame car, has not suffered any squad wipes yet because he's doing a good job of keeping his Grens in pairs at reasonably high levels of health, so that if an M3 gets too close, he can go for the double Faust, and the M3s have to be mindful of that and careful in all engagements. Pair of Grenadiers right there. Pair of Grenadiers right there. So by keeping all of his Grenadiers doubled up like that, he really limits the impact of those scout cars. So nice play by Antilles to do that. That is very important to establish this habit against flamethrower M3s, because it definitely shuts down there.
Grenadiers reporting.
Wipe potential, or at least limits it. And Paul's actually gonna go sniper next. Interesting. We don't see very many Soviet snipers. We don't see very many Oster snipers either. Neither of them is really meta or non-meta. They're just like a decent unit that's not OP, but kind of high risk, so quite not unusual to see snipers, but not usual either. They're right on the border of non-meta, kind of like Lightning War or Airborne, or I don't know.
Ours! It is ours! How can we help? Contact with the enemy! The Enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Grenadiers taking shots at conscripts from range, slowly bleeding them. Sniper taking control of the left side victory point, and flamethrower taking control of the left side fuel. Successful cutoff maneuver there by Paul, and currently Antilles has sent everything back to base for reinforcement and healing. He does have the 60 munitions he needs for a healing bunker, so he might be thinking about doing that soon. There's the tank rush from Antilles. Honestly, the fact that he just got cut off hurts though, and he's gonna have to try to get some territory under his control somewhere. Get a fuel point captured, otherwise he's gonna maybe go Stug. Which I don't really anticipate working all that well, but fortunately Paul appears to be skipping tier 3. He went tier 1, tier 2, so I don't think he's going to go for a quick T70 or T34. He's going to go for Collins from this point, which means there's a pretty decent chance of Antilles' tier 3 rush going unpunished. Maybe he'll be able to get out a tank and inflict some serious damage. We'll see. Paul does have tier 2 to at least get a field gun out and counter whatever tier 3 unit that Antilles produces that way. Up to this point, I don't think he's planted any mines. I do see a demo charge right there. So, I don't know. I don't know, Antilles. We'll see what happens. Grenadiers are available for that M3's push. Gets one flame burst off before pulling back away out of that machine gun's arc fire. This machine gun, or LMG, is working on the conscripts at range. Should be able to win that engagement. And on the left side, Sniper has begun taking shots. Oh, it gets suppressed by the MG. It should retreat. It should definitely retreat. There it goes. Paul having to manage 2 engagements simultaneously. Looks like he's losing on both fronts as of right now. The M3 pulls back for repairs. Sniper retreats. Conscripts in green cover might be able to win against this. Neither of these squads have upgrades, so probably, but there's a lot of stuff over here that could probably manage a successful push. MG42 moving up into range to fire on those conscripts, but I think even the models way back there, well, they're probably not getting shot at. The models in the front are probably getting shot at, so the models in front tank. Ooh, that was a good grenade, though. I think. I don't know. It wasn't actually that great. It was okay. Forced the retreat. That's what matters. A couple models died. That squad gets away with 5 men remaining. No, Grenadiers move up into the green cover position. And there's quite a few Grenadiers over here engaging. That's 5 Grens, 2 MG42s for Antilles. Oh, there's the first demo. Where's the Minesweeper? Minesweeper is currently in the base. Grenadiers destroyed on the demo charge on the right side fuel point. It's going to weaken Antilles significantly over here on the right side, but the Ostwind is in production. The AT gun is on the field, ready to counter. Sniper starts taking shots at Grenadiers. That squad has to retreat if it doesn't want to get wiped. Man, the Soviets' rate of fire is so slow compared to the Osterra one. Now, I don't know if that should stick around for a Faust with that sniper on the field. These Grenadiers also need to try to avoid bleed if possible. Again, trying to operate in pairs to shut down that M3's movements. And he's just probably trying to stall until that Ostwind arrives. It is on the field making its way right. Should probably try and keep it supported with the Minesweeper, which is in the area to do so. Conscripts oorahing behind that machine gun, and it looks like Antilles will not be able to hold this line any longer. All of that Ostwind support just retreated. Ostwind is now going to kite these conscripts a little bit. Ooh, that was a nice burst right there. Very nice burst. Conscripts pull back to safety slightly. And the field gun is on its way to protect against that Ostwind getting too aggressive. Doesn't currently quite have vision on the Ostwind, just out of range. Pios will be forced to retreat. The Minesweepers retreated. Ostwind doesn't want to get too aggressive against the threat of mines across the river, so it's gonna have to play safe. Still no healing bunker for Antilles, and his entire army is about to head hard right. By the way, at this point, if I were Antilles, I would rotate left. It's a lot easier to take your own half of the river than your opponent's half. Feel like he might be getting a little bit of tunnel vision here. He clearly just box selected his whole army and right-clicked right side, so that's a little dangerous. We'll see what happens. Grenadiers making their way out of the base with machine gun support. AT gun taking a shot at that Ostwind, will push it back, does take an AT grenade which destroys its engine. It's now in serious danger from that field gun. It looks like it should be able to get clear though, and Grenadiers should be able to protect against that AT gun getting too aggressive. Another shot using attack ground through the fog of war does connect. I think the AT gun has stopped firing and is not going to give chase. The minesweeper piles are reinforced and are on their way to repair that Ostwind, but I think that AT gun could very realistically snipe that. Looks like he's gonna maybe try repositioning slightly. The M3 supporting might be able to force a retreat from this LMG Grenadier squad. The machine gun there got cleared by a Molotov. There's a second sniper on the field now. Overdrive activated to try and give vision of that Ostwind. It will be providing vision for some time. Flamethrower tries to recover the machine gun. Field gun is not in range to support in this engagement though, and it doesn't look like that's going to get away. Gets wiped in the attempt. Conscripts moving up the right side. Getting suppressed by a machine gun, but the sniper is in range to support against this. High explosive barrage to clear the gun, and the sniper should be able to finish the job. Machine guns both cleared here in the center. And apparently the PIO has just retreated. Paul's still not moving aggressively to destroy that Ostwind. He could deploy a flare, by the way, with his Vet 1 sniper to give himself vision of that, I guess. Antilles has chosen close air support. Might start redistributing resources soon to give himself more LMGs or possibly rifle grenades or teller mines or anti-infantry strafe or whatever.
Reinforcements complete. A peg gun is ready for orders. We have new resources.
Oh, hi Pluto. I'm sorry I wasn't paying any attention to chat. Thanks for visiting. Cool. Pluto's here again.
MG-42s have arrived. You found something? Our position is under attack! Under fire!
That squad will be forced to retreat out of this engagement. Nothing going very well. This double sniper build from Paul inflicting huge damage on these Grenadiers. Anti-infantry strafe gets called in on the snipers to briefly suppress them. I don't know what that's really going to accomplish. Conscripts set up in green cover right here. Rifle grenade forces them to retreat. The Ostwind is finally about to be repaired, but it definitely did not have the dramatic impact that Antilles was hoping for this game. Shut down pretty hard by one AT grenade and a bunch of AT gun shots, unfortunately. Of course, that destroyed engine crit didn't help. Stolen MG-42 set up over here on the right side of fuel point, and the left side is now completely undefended by anything. Paul rotating all of his forces towards the right side since Antilles is clearly sending everything he has into those engagements. Desperately fighting at this point just to try and slow down the victory point drain here on the right side victory point. And Paul is very soon going to be up to the T-34 call-ins. There's another wipe. Antilles reduced now to only 2 squads of Grenadiers. And those snipers continue to bleed him. Up to 20 kills between them, which at 20 minutes is pretty bad for 2 snipers, but they did hit the field kind of late, so they're probably doing fine. It's not demo charge, just wiped another squad. I really don't think there's anything that Antilles is gonna be able to do to salvage this game. He has 2 AT guns on the field and 1 Ostwind, so he does have some high value units. Maybe if Paul made some sort of overly aggressive push with an extremely small part of his army, he could get some free wipes, but unless Paul does make some sort of Horrible mistake. It looks like this is going to be the series.
We have 50 points remaining.
He's finally rotating left to try and take his half of the river. I don't know why he didn't do this as soon as his Ostwind hit the field. I think he had much better chances over here. Paul is also going to rotate left, sensing his opponent is doing the same.
Ostwind standing by. Under infantry attack. We have a fresh grenadier squad. Give us another target. We are down to 25 points. Do not let them defeat us.
Pios get wiped. No chance of Paul breaking, or Antilles breaking through anywhere, as far as I can tell. 10 victory points remaining, and the triple cap is about to resume, thanks to the efforts of these conscripts. And then IS-2 did technically hit the field and go in on this Ostwind, but I don't think Paul really needed to go Collins to win this game. He certainly was not relying on them in any way. And he is quite successful with a tier 1 into tier 2 build. The Soviets on crossing in the woods. Well played, Paul, who has just defeated his 4th challenger.